श्रीमते राधानाथ स्वामी ते नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखम करोति वाचालं पंगुम लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणे हरे कृष्णा. So we continue nectar of instruction. Last week we saw verse number 7. The holy name, character, pastime, activities of Krishna are all transcendently sweet like sugar candy. Although the tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice of avidya, ignorance, cannot taste anything sweet, it is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting these sweet names every day, a natural relish awakens within his tongue and his disease is gradually destroyed at the root. Yeah, so we saw the glories of devotional service and the stages of devotional service. So now let us start the verse number 8. So I will read the shloka, maybe first read translation, then shloka, so we understand the meaning, and then if somebody wants to try, please try. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time 24 hours a day in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, and eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Braja, Goloka Vrindavan Dham, and serve Krishna under the guidance of devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. Okay. तन्नाम रूप चरिताति संकीर्तनानु समृत्यो क्रमेण रसनामनजी नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी कालं नयेदखिलम् इति उपदेशसारम् तन्नामरूपचरितादिसङ्कीर्तनानुसंवृत्यो रसनामनजी नियोज्य तिष्ठन् व्रजे तदनुरागी जनानुगामी कालं नयेदखिलम् Mityupadeshasaram. Anybody want to try? It is good. Looks difficult, but not so difficult.
Krishna. I want to try.
Yeah, try.
Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojaya Tisthan Raje Tad Anuragi Jananugami Kalam Nayed Akhilam Iti Upadesh Saram.
Anybody else?
Tannamarupa Charita Disukirtananu Murtyo Kramena Rasanamanasi Niyojya Tishta Vrajet Tadanurajina Tishte Vrajet Tadanurajinanu Gami Kalam Nayet Dakhilami Tupadesha Saram.
Okay. So we'll read word to word. Tat of Lord Krishna, Nama, the holy name, Rupa, the form. Charitadi, character and pastime, so on. Sukirtana, in discussing or chanting nicely. Su is your kirtana, Sukirtana. Anusmrutyo, and in remembering. Eh? In remembering. Anusmrutyo. Kramena, gradually. Rasana, the tongue. Manasi, and the mind. Niyoja, engaging. Tishtan, residing. Vraje, in Vraja. Tat, Lord Krishna. Anuragi, attached. Jana, persons. Anugami, following. Kalam, time. Nayet, should utilize. Akhilam, full. Iti, thus. Upadesha, of advice or instruction. Saram, the essence. Translation and purport. The essence of all advice is that one should utilize one's full time, 24 hours a day, in nicely chanting and remembering the Lord's divine name, transcendental form, qualities, eternal pastimes, thereby gradually engaging one's tongue and mind. In this way, one should reside in Vraja, Goloka Vrindavan Dham, and serve Krishna under the guidance of the devotees. One should follow in the footsteps of Lord's beloved devotees who are deeply attached to his devotional service. Anugami, following. Tadnama Rupa Charitadi Sukar Kirtananu Smrutya Kramena Rasana Manasi Niyojya Tishtan Vraje Tad Anuragi Jananugami. Tishtan Vraje Tad Anuragi, live in Vraja and follow the Jana Anugami. Follow them. Kalam Nayed Akhilam, all the time. Iti Upadesha Saram, this is the essence of all. I will read some purport and then somebody can please help out. Purport. Since the mind may be one's enemy or one's friend, one has to train the mind to become his friend. The Krishna consciousness movement is especially meant for training the mind to be always engaged in Krishna's business. The mind contains hundreds and thousands of impressions, not only of this life but also of many lives of the past. These impressions sometimes come in contact with one another and produce contradictory pictures. In this way, the mind's function can become dangerous for conditioned soul. Students of psychology are aware of mind's various psychological changes. In Bhagavad Gita 8.6, it is said, Yam yam vapi smanam bhavam tajanti antakale varam tam tam eva iti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers, when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. Anybody want to read?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Chinmay, okay, read.
At the time of death.
At the time of death, the mind and intelligence of a living entity create this subtle form of a certain type of body for the next life. If the mind suddenly thinks of something not very congenial, one has to take a corresponding birth in the next life. On the other hand, if one can think of Krishna at a time of death, he can transfer to spiritual he can transfer to spiritual world, Golok Vrindavan. This process of transmigration is very subtle. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami advised devotees to train their mind in order that be they will be unable to remember anything other than Krishna. Similarly, the tongue should be trained to speak only of Krishna and taste only Krishna Prasada. Srila Rupa Goswami further advised Titishta one should live in a Vrindavan or any part of Vrajabhumi or the land of land of Vrindavan is supposed to be 84 crosas, cro, crosas in area. 1 crossa equal 2 square miles. When one makes one makes Vrindavan his residence, he should take shelter of an advised devotee there. In this way, one should always think of Krishna and his pastimes. This is further illu- elucidated by Srila Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.294. Krishnam Smarana Jnanam Chasya Preshtham Nija Samlihitam Tattat Katha Ratascha Bruyat Vasa Rajasada. A devotee, a devotee should always reside in the transcendental realm of Braja and always engage in Krishna Smaranam Janam Chasya Preshtham, the remembrance of Sri Krishna and his beloved associate. By following in the footsteps of such associates and by entering under their eternal guidance, one can acquire an intense desire to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Again, Srila Rupa Goswami states in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Seva sadhaka rupena sitta rupena chatrahi tat bhava lipsuna karya prajalokan suratah. In the transcendental realm of Raja, the Rajdam, one should serve the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, with a feeling similar to that of his associates, and one should place himself under the direct guidance of a particular associate of Krishna and should follow in his footsteps. This method in this method is applicable both in the state of sadhana, spiritual practice. Amir Fuji. Sadhana. This method is applicable both in the stage of sadhana, spiritual practice executed while in the stage of bondage, and in the stage of sadhya, God realization, when one is Siddha Purush or a spiritually perfect soul. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur has commented as follows upon this verse: one who has not yet developed interest in Krishna consciousness should give up all material motives and train his mind by following the progressive regulative principle, namely chanting and remembering Krishna and his name, form, quality, pastimes, and so forth. In this way, after developing a taste for such things, one should try to live in Vrindavan and pass his time constantly remembering Krishna's name, fame, pastimes, and quality under the direction of direction and protection of an expert devotee. This is the sum and substance of all instruction regarding the cultivation of devotional service. In the neophyte stage, one should always engage in hearing Krishna Katha. This is called Sarvana Dasa, the stage of hearing. Oh, Shravan Dasa, the stage of hearing. By constantly hearing the transcendental holy name of Krishna and hearing of his transcendental form, qualities, and pastimes, one can attain the stage of acceptance called Varna Varna Dasa. When one attains the stage, when one attains his stage, he becomes attached to the hearing of Krishna Katha. When one is able to chant in ecstasy, he attains the stage of samaran, samaranavastu, ha,
स्वप्नावस्था.
smarnavas, the stage of remembering. Recollection, absorption, meditation, constant remembrance, and trance are the five items of progressive Krishna smarna. At first, remembrance of Krishna may be interrupted at interval, but later remembrance proceed uninterrupted. When remembrance is uninterrupted, it becomes concentrated and is called meditation. When meditation expert and become constant, it is called anusmruti. By uninterrupted and unceasing anusmruti, one enters the stage of samadhi or spiritual trance. After smarna dasa or samadhi has fully developed, the soul comes to understand his original constitutional position. At that time, he can perfectly and clearly understand his eternal relationship with Krishna. That is called Samapattidasa. Sampattidasa. Sampattidasa.
दास
The perfection.
दास
Das or
दशा.
Sampatti Das.
संपत्ति दशा. हम्म.
Sampattidasha, the perfection of life. Chaitanya Charitamrita advised those who are neophyte to give up all kinds of motivated desire and simply engage in the regulative devotional service of the Lord according to the direction of scriptures. In this way, a neophyte can gradually develop attachment for Krishna's name, fame, form, qualities, and so forth. When one has developed such attachment, he can spontaneously serve the lotus feet of Krishna even without following the regulative principle. This stage is called Rag Bhakti or devotional service is spontaneous love. At that stage, devotee can follow in the footsteps of one of the eternal associate of Krishna in Vrindavan. This is also Raga. This is also Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti or spontaneous devotional service can executed in the Santa Santarasa when one aspired to be like Krishna's cow or the stick or flute in the hand of Krishna or flowers around Krishna's neck, the Dasyaras one follows in the footsteps of servant like Chitraka, Chit- Chitraka, Patraka or Raktaka. In the friendly Sakyaras, one can become a friend like Baldev, Sriram or Sudama. In the Vatsyas, charac-
वात्सल्य.
Vatsalya.
in the Vatsalyaras, characteri- characterized by parental affection, one can become like Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda. And in the Madhurya characterized by conjugal love, one can become like Srimati Radharani or her lady friends such as Lalita and her serving maids, Manjaris like Rupa Manjari and Rati Manjari. This is the essence of all instructions in the matter of devotional service.
हरे कृष्ण. Thank you. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च. श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं सद्वैतं सर्वदूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपदां सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखावितांश्च. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरंगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितनां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणे। Hare Krishna. So we'll discuss little bit today on this verse. तन्नाम रूप चरितादि सुकीर्तनानु स्मृत्यो क्रमेण रसना मनसि नियोज्य तिष्ठान् व्रजे तद अनुरागी जनानुगामी कालं नयेदखिलम् इति उपदेशसारम्. So first line of the purport, right? Srila Prabhupada again mentions about the mind, right? One's enemy or one's friend, right? So Bhagavad Gita 6.6, right? Bandhur atma atmanastasya yenatmevatmana jita anatma nastu shatrutve varte tatmaiva shatruvat. So in this verse 6.6, I think atma word is used six times, right? For him who has conquered the mind, mind is the best friend. For one who has failed to do so, his mind will be the greatest enemy. So there is lot of importance given to mind because mind is the cause of our deliverance or failures. We can easily relate to this. So here Rupa Goswami tells us to think of Krishna 24 hours. Srila Prabhupada says 24 hours continuously. The word used here is akhilam, without interruption, that is continuously. Full. Use your full time, use your full capacity, use your full energy, everything, right? So there is this very common question used many times in the classes you can hear, and maybe in our thoughts also it comes. Like in case of Ajamil, he chanted his son's name Narayan, and Vishnu Dutas came. His all karma was gone, right? So if the holy name is so powerful that by just chanting without offenses, of course Ajamil's case we thought was without offenses, right, and without any other motivation. So of course he was calling his son, but the power of name actually helped him, right, without offenses. So chanting without offense is very powerful. So the question comes is, okay, many times like in case of Indians or others, like the people who are aware of Krishna from their childhood, they say like, now I am say just 40, 30, 40, 50 years of age, so I will chant when I will remember when I am old. Anyway, I know Krishna. And if at the end of the life you just chanting once the names power, Krishna will deliver you, then at that time if I can chant, everything is okay. Then why so much endeavor is required? So for that, this mind's importance we have to understand, that how the mind works. And Srila Prabhupada gives this very nice word, congenial. Where was that sentence? At the time of death, the mind and intelligence of living entity creates subtle form of certain type of body for the next life. If mind suddenly thinks of something not very congenial, one has to take the corresponding birth in the next life. Right? This is very danger to hear also, right? So at the end of the life, right, So there are stories about the near death experiences, right? There are many stories on the YouTube, and people have books also written, right? So people say that when the last time of your life is coming, right? What happens is you start remembering all the incidents of this life, what has happened with you, who were the people who were very connected or to whom you were attached with, or who had great influence on your life and your thought process and your mind, everything. So those people, we remember them, we remember the dealings with them and how we talked with them, what were the situations in which we were with them. And also the devotees, also the situations or persons whom we don't like, that also starts. Also our attachments. So these are the people, but our inner attachments, deep inner attachments to some person or some situation or something, money, fame, position, physical needs, whatever, we start remembering everything. So if the people who if you see the examples of people, some peoples die suddenly, a heart attack, they don't get time. So in that case, these things happen and they don't understand what has happened. It just happens. But some people who fall sick and they take time to leave the body, they go through this trauma, they go to this situations where they have to face this. If their body is not moving but mind is such that it moves, it's working. Even if your body cannot operate mind, so even if you are sleeping, the mind is working, right? If you are too much tense throughout the day, too much busy, and too much some situations have, some shocking situations have happened, or something which has touched your heart too much, even if you sleep, the mind processes that, right? So you are still awake, intelligence may not, but the mind still works, right? So in the situation at the time of death, like Srila Prabhupada says, the mind and intelligence will create your subtle body, form of the body, and then the soul through the prana will go into that, right? So this is how it works. Okay, means like we cannot say like let us experience this, right? What the death experience, no, it's not happening. This is, sometimes people have near death experiences so they can correct themselves, but many times it is not, right? So this is not, this is only one time chance, right? This is one time happening, that is going to happen. And so when the question comes like, okay, at the end of my life I will remember Krishna, it is very rare. I cannot say impossible, it is very rare. If it needs Krishna's mercy, devotee's mercy. So, or if you die in accident or alone, it's all mercy. We depend on mercy and what's happening with mind and all. So all the Vaishnavas, all the acharyas that say that you mold your life in such a way that there is no chance of, or minimum chance of, the other things coming into your life and making influence on your life. So the most influence should be always think of Krishna, think of his pastimes and devotees and all, right? So it's not a easy easy going transmigrating from one body to another. But Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, an intelligent person knows how this works. Normal person cannot understand how it works. So here also the same thing is mentioned, right? So if we think of Krishna, it is possible. Yam yam smaran. So yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whatever you think, you achieve. So it's not at the time of death also. Many influencers and all these people, they also say that if you concentrate on something in your life when you are living, and you focus and you meditate on that, the things will happen. That is the power that every living being or jiva has. Okay, so your problem is we are not able to focus on something. So if we focus on Krishna continuously, Akhilam, 24 hours a day, It is possible. And why it is 24 hours a day? One more reason that Vaisheshika Prabhu, Satyadev Prabhu tells is, it's like we are all we think we are healthy, uh, and we will not die soon, okay, maybe die at 70 or 80, that's what we think, but we don't know, right? So the death can come anytime. Now also suddenly something happened, gone. So in that way it is urgency, every moment is urgency, because we don't know what's going to happen. The forecast or the maybe the astrologer might have told that you will live long, but that is not guaranteed, right? So we are always on the deathbed. That is the sentence they use, that though we are living, the time is reducing, the time is passing, so our life is reducing. It's not it's never increases, life reduces from the time that is decided to go. We don't know that time. So from that point, we are always in emergency uh, to remember Krishna. So Rupa Goswami also tells us kramena, the word kramena used gradually, right? Remembering gradually. So Srila Prabhupada gives the explanation in this purport in the neophyte stage, how the remembrance starts, right? So first we hear, then we have interest in hearing, then we start hearing actually, then we start remembering, and then first we remember in 24 hours, maybe 2 hours we are chanting. In that also we are thinking of so many other things. So actual remembrance in one day maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, I don't know, means like everybody it will be different. So it's interrupted, but then you start remembering continuously. And when you start remembering continuously, your interest and attachment increase, and then you meditate continuously because you are continuously thinking of Krishna or devotees or Radharani. So you go into samadhi, and at that stage you will understand your real Srila Prabhupada uses the original constitutional position, and then in that stage you serve Krishna. So it's not, it takes endeavor. There are some groups or some Babajis, or they say like, because people want to, they have attraction for this, there is Siddha Deha. Siddha Deha means the body that you have in your spiritual form. When you, in your spiritual world, you have particular type of body, maybe whichever rasa, like Srila Prabhupada mentions at the end, whichever rasa you have, according to that you have particular body in the spiritual world. So they say the Siddha Deha, and they want to achieve that to serve Krishna. So some groups are there. That one devotee was there maybe 6 years back. He was, I think he was Korean or something, and he started coming to temple and he started chanting. He was doing good, and we thought, okay, yeah, now he's chanting, so he's reading Bhagavad Gita, so in doing service, so he will be uh, progressing steadily. But suddenly he was not coming for 5 or 6 months. I didn't know where he went. Then suddenly he came one day and he said, Ananta, there is very good news. I said, okay, what is the news? He said, now I have achieved the perfection. I said, oh, okay. So where were you? Like, how you achieved the perfection? What happened actually? I asked him. No, he said, no, I went to this Babaji and this Guru, and he told me, this is my Siddha Deha. So now I meditate on my Siddha Deha and I try to serve in Manasik form. So I said, okay, so how you feel? So he said, now I am not feeling anything much, but I know my Siddha Deha. So there are groups like these also, like who tell that, gurus, they tell that this is your body in the spiritual world. So in that you meditate and start practicing. Some people say, oh, this is the rasa, so this is Raganuga. But Rupa Goswami tells us no, Raganuga bhakti and the sadhana bhakti, they are connected. It's not that some people may have spontaneous attraction for Krishna, the Brajavasis, Dhamvasis. Some devotees, they have very much attraction for Krishna, spontaneous. They don't have to endeavor, they don't have to read, or chant, they just remember Krishna and devotees. That is the mercy. Then the last life they have done something, so they have that. Some, in my case, like I may not have that attraction for Krishna because I'm not remembering 24 hours, right? That is the honest situation. So okay, so I have to develop it. So that is development is sadhana bhakti. That is what Srila Prabhupada is teaching us, that you have to develop it. So Vaisheshika Prabhu said, keep the transcendental vibration going. Why? Because if the vibration is there, everything in this world is vibration, right? So our body, our eyes, our voice, everything is vibration, right? So Manu Maharaj gave the class, right? Vibration and sound. So everything is vibration. So if the transcendental vibration is chanting and reading and hearing is going on, then we remain in that vibration and you get used to that vibration, and our mind and intelligence will think of that vibration because it's in that, and then we think of Krishna. So there are ways to develop it, and if you cannot remember continuously, then you have to develop it. So you hear, read, and you develop it, and then you can remember. So it takes endeavor, and for that this mind is the main problem, right? So everybody says, okay, mind, please control the mind, then the things are easy. So Ashtanga Yoga, in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita is Ashtanga Yoga. They have also said to control the senses and mind, right? So they are sitting, this is Ashtanga Yoga, and doing sadhana and samadhi to focus on super soul, or and control the body, eat less. This is one way of doing. But Ashtanga Yoga also, it is mentioned that at the end of life, when you take your life air at the top of your head, this chakra, while going out of that path, right, you have to remember Krishna if you have to go to Krishna. Okay. So if you remember something else at that moment, you are going to go there. So that's why throughout the life they control their mind and senses by restricting them. And then, so that when they are restricted and focusing, they cannot think of something else. But they have to think of Krishna if they want to go to Krishna. If there's something else, it's something different. So anyway, the thinking at the end moment is very important. So like last time we said, my daily chanting is the match. So I have to keep practicing full day. Okay, I have to give more time to practice. So that practice is hearing, chanting, and talking with devotees and all, right? And then I chant. I read books, then I chant. When you read books, Srila Prabhupada said that I have given everything in my book. If you keep reading my books, it is guaranteed that you will be in that vibration, and you will slowly, gradually, other thoughts will go. Just keep reading the books, right? So we have to give time, Akhilam, all time, 24 hours. Everybody can judge for themselves what is the situation. I know my situation, right? So it's not very good situation. Okay, I know what problems I am doing every day, what ignorance I have, what ignorant activities I am doing. At least few I know that I am not supposed to do, but I keep doing, I keep trying, but I fail, I keep doing. So at least we should know what is the problem, and that is knowledge, that I have ignorance. That is a knowledge also, one type of. So then when we read this, we understand that okay, this is all garbage that I am doing, but still we cannot. So Srila Prabhupada mentions uninterrupted thinking or remembering of Krishna comes at later stage, right? So Krishna Smarana, progressive Krishna Smarana, it is progressive path. When the meditation expands and becomes constant, it is called Anusmruti. So first we have to uninterrupted think, remember, then that is meditation. And when the meditation matures, it is Anusmruti. And then from Anusmruti comes Samadhi. And then when Samadhi is full developed, then you understand, right? So for me, it's lot of things to be done still. But we know this is what is required, and from here I will get the attraction for Krishna and spontaneous attraction, that is Raga Bhakti. right? So following on the footsteps of Raganugas is through sadhana bhakti. Because in Raganuga, even if you have the attraction, you have to remember Krishna. Spontaneously, what you are going to do? Remember Krishna, chant Krishna, talk about Krishna. That is the same thing you are going to do in Raganuga stage also. That is what we are practicing sadhana bhakti. There are few devotees who say that, okay, in Srila Prabhupada has emphasized and given us the sadhana bhakti path only. He didn't give us the details about the Raganuga bhakti. But no, Srila Prabhupada has given in his purports, Bhakti Rasamrut Sindhu purports, if you see Vaishnava literatures, yeah, Srila Prabhupada has given, in Chaitanya Charitamrut, Srila Prabhupada has given how the Raganuga bhakti develops, right? So it's not that today I will say, from tomorrow I will do Raganuga bhakti. Then what you have to do? You have to remember Krishna, you have to chant about Krishna, you have to read about Krishna, same, right? So that is what we are doing. So it's just the perspective, the way a devotee or people look at it. But Srila Prabhupada has given such a wonderful daily program that you can remember Krishna. So in temple, of course, we have 6 artis, 6 bhoga offerings, and upfront different seva, food distribution, and harinam, and cleaning, and dressmaking, and garland making. So many sevas. When we have temple, all these sevas are going on. I see the devotees. Yesterday I came from temple. I see devotees who were chanting 4 or 5 rounds. Now they are doing garland seva. Somebody is doing this seva. They spontaneously get into it. Some are interested to distribute books. Yeah, so all are seva. Srila Prabhupada made such an arrangement that you can engage your mind every time into something and something. But still, the mind will is very clever. Still, the mind will find out some time. If not full day, in the night, the mind will somehow find out some time for yourself. We say that is my time, right? So that my time concept is recently has come. Okay, so I need my time, I need my space. This is a trap, I feel. Okay, I am also in that trap that, oh, I want my time at least daily 30 minutes I need, where I will do what I want to do. Of course, you have to do what you want to do, but how much and what is very important. So what you do in my time, very important. Okay, so if you see our Srila Prabhupada disciples, their my time is they are chanting, or they are reading, or they are planning how to expand Krishna consciousness, right? That is their my time. So our my time, my time is different, right? So that is my problem. That is my mind's problem. I am not able to do, right? So we have to make mind our friend. Arjuna also said, I cannot make mind friend. It is impossible. It is like what, controlling the air. I cannot do. And Krishna says, yes, you cannot do. It is very difficult to control the mind. So what you have to do? You have to practice, and then you will control. So gradually. Yeah? So everywhere in Nectar of Instruction, we see the word gradual, progression. Right? So nobody has told anybody to stop everything and start. Everything will be perfect in one moment or one day. No, it is going to happen gradually. Right? So Krishna and all the Vaishnava acharyas have considered what is the problem of the devotees and others, and so they have given a teaching that gives us enough time to develop ourselves. So Smaranam also, the stages are given. Initially you think about Krishna, then slowly, continuously. So everything is possible, everything can be done in a progressive way. Yeah? No need to just stop everything. Some devotees, they stop and they say, I will join temple, but they are not that mental state of to join the temple. So even if they join, they cannot perform, right? There is a more problem for them. So you have to judge and take the steps according to our own situation or interest. So, Bhanu Maharaj, when he was here, I asked Maharaj some questions about the marriage. There's some topic of marriage was going on. So Bhanu Maharaj also very clearly told that don't expect yourself to do things that are impractical for you. Don't work, don't do devotional service like that. If something is practically not possible, not logically not possible for you to do, if you try to do that, you will never succeed in that. It will be more painful. So you have to be very practical when you do the devotional service, so you can do it naturally and smoothly and continue to do it. Otherwise, if you impractically start doing certain things which you are not interested or which you cannot do, you will give it up at certain point. So better gradually do, slowly. But I know the time is Akhilam, all time we have to reach that stage, somehow or other. We cannot just take time, like if I say, okay, I will take time for 10 years. It may be too long, because our determination has to remain. Vyavasaya Atmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. If you can pinpoint your buddhi, intelligence like that, fine. But if you cannot, any one of the senses will divert the mind. Krishna says the mind is so powerful, so it can happen through anything. So if you keep long-term goals, then you have to break it down to the small goals and you keep achieving the goals. Otherwise that Ekeha Kurunandana will go, right? You will forget. So making goals, and new year is coming, so if you are making goals, thinking of something, then we have to break the goals also at small steps, so that the mind gets something that I have achieved something. If mind don't get that I have achieved something, I am happy, the mind will start creating problems, right? So now we are running out of time, 10 minutes more, but we can discuss more on this. And so on this, there is this small book, okay? Raghunath Das Goswami has written this book, Manas Shiksha. Raghunath Das Goswami's book, and Bhanu Maharaj has kindly translated it, right? And it's just 12 verses, okay? But it is the instruction to the mind. So Manas Shiksha, instructing the mind. So what we have to instruct the mind? So this is, Maharaj gave seminar on this also. Our ISKCON YouTube, you can find that. Okay. So first verse in, O mind, do not perform dharma proclaimed in the Shrutis. Do not perform adharma. Rather perform devoted service to Radha and Krishna in Vraja. Always remember the son of Sachi as the son of Nanda and the Guru as dearest to Krishna. So this is a very small book, but this is how Raghunath Das Goswami tells us how to train our mind, what you have to tell. Because if you don't tell mind what to do through your intelligence, mind will do what it wants to do, right? So instructing the mind is very important. So Manas Shiksha is important. Train the mind the way you want to work it, so it becomes your friend. If you don't train the mind, then mind will train the intelligence, and there is that everybody knows, right, what happens then. So there are books, there are literatures and writings of our Vaishnava Acharyas where they have given a full guidelines or support system for us, that is available. So Bhanu Maharaj is translating the books of these different Vaishnava Acharyas. The reason is that, like, because these books, Srila Prabhupada was not able to translate, finish the translations of all the books. So he gave the translation of the main books and then told Maharaj to translate the to different languages, right? So Maharaj is doing this so that we can at least get these literatures in English. So that is why the contribution of Bhanu Maharaj is very important for ISKCON and for devotees, Vaishnav devotees who cannot read Bengali or who cannot reach to that books or literatures, right? So Maharaj is for 24 hours, what he is doing is translating 24 hours, right? So following what Srila Prabhupada did, right, and instructions. So these books are very small books, right? If these books, you see, if you decide these are 11 verses and how many 60-70 pages only. If you decide you can read this book in one day, and then you create your skeleton, how to train your mind. So facilities are there, we have to utilize them, and for that also we need help of our intelligence to train the mind. That, oh boss, this book is there, somehow buy this book and read it. For that also we need to train. So it is not so easy to do the smaranam and make proper choices at every moment. So yesterday, smaranam, when we think of smaranam, right, till you have the spontaneous attachment to Krishna, you cannot 24 hour think of Krishna. This we heard, I heard, everything like this for so many years, but practically not able to do. Because last verse we saw, because we have interest in the material enjoyment. So that is not possible. We have more inclination to things other than Krishna. We have inclination to Krishna while chanting, reading classes. After that we have our own. That is a problem, we know. So last week, 2 days back, one of my friend sent me one video, okay, and he told me it's a small video, small clip. He said, you just watch it. This clip has means in India it is very famous and it has captured everyone and everybody is listening continuously. I said what to do, no? Because he told me, I was a little bit fearful, no? If it is catching people, the attention and the time and mind of so many people, it's going to happen with me. That is also possible, right? Because so many people are happening, so mind will say you can also do. So I said, okay, consciously I decided, okay, but I said, okay, let us see what's going. It was one movie clip, some new movie has come, and and he gave me one question, okay. He sent me clip and he said, what is this wording? You tell me if you can understand. I said, no, what is this wording? The more interest, right? So I opened it. It was some movie, the latest movie, some movie has come, and there is one song, a rap song, and in different Arabic or some language, I don't know. I didn't understand word, and but it was some Akshay Khanna, some dance is there, and he's saying everybody is so much, it is viral, topmost viral something, and he said, tell me the lyrics. I heard it, then I said, why you asking me? You search on net, you will get. I replied him, why you make me engage into fight to hear that continuously? So this is how the social media and everything works now, that there is some catchy tune, some catchy song, and you develop somehow some interest in that by eyes or by listening, and you continuously want to do it. So I said, yeah, this is what the material attachments and attractions can focus our mind and intelligence. But why I am not getting so much interested in Krishna? So Narsinga movie came. So the last 15 minutes of Narsinga movie are so captivating that if you see that how Narsinga Dev comes and he kills and the graphics and all, that is captivating. You remember that song. So you remember that. So I said, yeah, these books also should give me that attraction, but somehow it is not happening. So problem is not the books, the problem is my problem, right? I am not spontaneously getting attached to the name and form of Krishna or talk about Krishna, right? So I have to develop myself, I have to train my mind, and slowly someday maybe it will happen, right? So now it's almost time, so I will stop here. but we can discuss this verse again if we need. Anybody has any comments or any sharing or any experiences or any questions? Then we have some time. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, then Pranam. Yeah, Prabhuji, you said about Raganu Bhakti, right?
Yeah.
So actually, I didn't understand what is Raganu Bhakti.
Yeah, so as Srila Prabhupada in this purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions that when you have spontaneous attraction for Krishna, that is Raganuga Bhakti. At that stage, a devotee can follow in the footsteps of one of the eternal associate of Krishna in Vrindavan. This is called Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti or spontaneous devotional service can be executed in different rasas. Right? So, when one has developed such attachment, which attachment? Wait. Chaitanya Charitamrita advises those who are neophyte to give up all kinds of motivated desires and simply engage in the regulative devotional service of the Lord according to direction of scripture. So this is Vaidhi Bhakti, Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, that is we are doing. Regulative devotional service. So what is this? This is get up in the morning, chant in the morning, offer to God, open the darshan, do the arti. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. In this way, neophyte can gradually develop attachment for Krishna's name, fame, form, qualities, and so forth. When one has developed such attachment, he can spontaneously serve lotus feet of Krishna even without following regulative principles. And this stage is Raganuga Bhakti. So, Raganuga Bhakti means what I was telling some time back, you don't have to do anything. You naturally do. So, if you go to Vrindavan or any dham, the people who stay there, they are naturally attracted to Krishna. They don't have to, even if they don't chant, they don't read, nothing. They still do everything focused around Krishna. So that is the attraction level that they have. So in neophyte stage, like our sadhana bhakti stage, we may not have that attraction for Krishna. So if we get time, we do something else. Okay. But devotees who can only think of Krishna and nothing else, right? So they have some attachment for Krishna. And when you have attachment for Krishna, you can do things without forcing or without sense of duty. Naturally you do. Like for example, mother and child relationship, right? So mother can do anything for child. Nobody has to tell mother, you do like this, you do like that. This is the time to feed, this is the time to sleep. No, mother will naturally do it because she has that attachment for the child. It naturally comes, naturally comes. So when this attachment to Krishna is naturally, that is what we call Raganuga Bhakti. Okay. So
Okay. Is it higher than Sadhana Bhakti, Prabhuji? Like,
no, see, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says Janak Maharaj achieved the perfection by worshipping the deity. Right? So when we do our sadhana bhakti, it will develop into Raganuga bhakti. Right? So stage wise, if you say, yeah, it is a natural stage of attraction for Krishna, so it is little bit spontaneous and higher, you can say like that, but it goes through the sadhana bhakti. Some devotees, like we see some foreign devotees also who are not from Indian or Asian body, they come to temple or they come in connection with Krishna or devotees, and next day they start doing chanting. So they have done some bhakti. So they have attraction for Krishna. So they start. So that natural attraction is very important. And when we want Krishna continuously, that type, so that way the smaranam, as Srila Prabhupada mentions, that is much higher level without any interruption. So meditation and samadhi. So that is higher level of consciousness and attachment. That is in Raganuga Bhakti. Yeah.
okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. I get now.
We have to go through sadhana bhakti and we will reach there. Any other comments? Okay, so we'll stop here today. I think I will be also traveling to India. Other devotees are also traveling to India. So maybe we will, I think we can restart this nectar of instruction destruction discussion next year in New Year. Okay. I don't know the exact date when everybody is coming back, but I think January 16th looks a possible date where everybody, 16 or 17, where everybody should have returned from India in Japan. So I think the next class may be in 2026. Okay. So it is little bit advanced, but I think it's take this today's class or today's these words as one of the reminder for us when we think of the goals or what we say resolution for the new year, right? So one of the resolution can be, okay, utilize maximum time for Krishna and related things, minimize the other time, right? So that can be one resolution that we can think of for the new year. So we all can target to use Akilam all time as our one of the resolution and goal. And we will be in touch on the social media, so that way we will be always touch. So but in advance, very happy new year, and please let us help each other so that we can remember Krishna and we can have that spontaneous attraction for Krishna and his devotees and his pastimes and names. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you,
Happy New Year
Prabhuji. Hare
with you
Krishna.
also,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.